one that really stood out to me when I was a kid, that now it's like if it's on, I always have to watch it. And even though the directors had a few weird things happen recently over the last 10 or 20 years, but the Braveheart by Mel Gibson. I mean, that movie, just I feel so much for that character and like him going against a tyrannical person and finding love twice and never giving up that first one and dying for it's just everything about that movie I feel was just so heartfelt and great. Whether or not it was, I don't know. But for me, especially as a child, like I looked at that and I was like, wow, that's such a powerful thing, and it changed who I wanted to be and keeping my determination up. And another guilty pleasure of mine was a movie called Dragon. It's the Bruce Lee story. It's Jason Scott Lee. He plays Bruce Lee, and it's some of it's a little bit weird in some places, but for the most part, I mean, his performance was just great. And especially myself as a Asian child growing up in a very white area of Ohio. And nobody was ever like outwardly racist to me or anything like that, but it still was like, no matter what, I felt a little bit at odds. So growing up and seeing, well, one, an idol of martial arts, which I was an avid martial artist, and not to mention being played with such humanity and really getting a feel for his fears and his loves and his excitement and all the things that he was proud of. I mean, whether or not it was actually how it was, I mean, like his wife put her stamp of approval on it at the time, but I still feel like it really gave a window into a man that is so legendary to so many people. And then for me, it's just, okay, so he's a man. I'm going to be a man. And he just works really hard and really had a goal that he went out for. And I could be that too. So that's who I am now, is I try to find my goals. They change every once in a while, but for the most part, I have my big lofty goals, and then I have little mini goals in between. But I focus, I work hard, and I try to get there as best I can, as I saw in a lot of these movies growing up.
I just saw this film called 9 Days at Sundance by Edson Addo, and it was very inspiring. I actually had an opportunity to see a few films afterwards, but I didn't want to ruin that taste in my mouth. While I'm sure they were also good. He definitely jumped on my list of people that I aspire to work with or create like. There was both a self-aware yet completely creative, and I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, so I won't talk about it, but it's a really beautiful film. I mean, Taika Waititi inspires me. Yorgos Lanthimos still inspires me. As a kid, I didn't want to be a writer. I mean, acting is still one of my hearts and souls, but as a kid, it was my only heart and soul. So, strangely enough, weird as this may sound, Arnold Schwarzenegger was like, Terminator 2 for me was just one of those movies that, I really wanted to be in. I mean, it's probably tried to stay Spielberg, but I remember seeing E.T. for the first time as a 4-year-old and saying, that's what I want to do. So, Spielberg and Arnold Schwarzenegger.